Yeah.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews, locker room insight.
Ready?
Let's huddle up.
Let's just do it, okay?
For Panthers Playbook, driven by Carolina Ford Dealers. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. That's Chris Lea. Dennis Cox here with you. Just go ahead and leave your thoughts on this game down in the comment section. Please do vent. We're all going to do it. You should do it. You've earned the right to vent. By the way, Panthers Playbook sponsored by Carolina Ford Dealers. With the Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. So your Carolina Ford dealer today. Chris, man,
they played so bad I had to go for my garage.
Yeah, dude, got me cracking cold ones. Got me cracking cold ones. You know what? Let's just say it, Chris. They stink. Let's just say it. They're the worst team in the NFL, and it's not even close. Not even close.
I think
not even close.
This is a throwback to weeks 1 and 2 where offense and defense and special teams was a problem. And the last few weeks since Andy Dalton has been named the starter, essentially it's been the offense to keep them or to give them any chance in games. I wouldn't say keep them in games, but keep them in games up to a certain point and to give them a chance.
It was competent. It was
competent. And Andy Dalton just, starting off today, the first interception was like, I don't know. I could kind of give him a pass, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of on him, but also kind of on Miles Sanders not turning around,
Yeah, but then
the offense was grooving on that drive up until that play, by the way.
They were, and they started off well. It looked like it was going to look, the way the Panthers have looked, the last few weeks. But a lot of this too, like I come away, I don't want to. I'm not like done on Andy Dalton. I'm still not like on this like we need to put Bryce in train or whatever. At some point, does he need to go on? Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when the season is completely over after the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see what you got so you can make a decision on what you're going to do later on. But as far as like Dave Canales, like this loss, I'll put more on him.
Yeah.
Because this was one of those losses where if all three phases look bad, then I'm starting to question you as the head coach.
Yeah.
And then also the play calling. Oh my God. I'll let you get in what you got to say, Dennis, but we can come back to that. But the play calling was horrendous. And it was even called out on the broadcast where they were down 10-0. And I don't know the color man's name, but he was like,
it's Charles Davis.
It's like, hey, I thought you said running is your identity. Why are you going away from it now? And it's like, whoa, I've been saying this. As soon as the Panthers get down just a little bit, that run is nowhere. They take the run out.
Yeah.
And then when you are dedicated to the run, it's in weird spots. Like when they turn the ball over on downs. I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, it's just they threw the interception. Obviously, we took back for a pick six, and then they go 3-and-out on that ensuing drive, which they actually gave the ball to Chuba Hubbard on first down. I was like, okay. And then pass to Jadeveon Sanders. Okay, you're sitting at 3rd and 4. Dalton incomplete pass, punted away, and then you actually end up holding the Commanders to a field goal. Now, Jane Daniels kind of got nicked up on that very first offensive drive for them. But then you come right back. You go with a pass to Jalen Coker for 10 yards. Okay, fine, got 10. Then you try and take another deep shot. I'm like, it's still in the first quarter. Like, run, control the clock, control the ball. That's what you got to do. Your offense cooked on that very first drive. At least was moving the ball effectively until you threw the interception. But then, thankfully, actually, your defense forced a 3-and-out after the second interception. And then it was, hey, Chuba Hubbard run as the end of the first quarter. Then all of a sudden, hey, you're 3rd and 5. sacked, lost, and then all of a sudden, a few plays later, touchdown, and then it was all just gone from there. I'm like, the second interception was like, yo, you got 1st and 10 after that completion to Jalen Coker, which I was like, hey, awesome. Awesome to see him. He's the 3rd wide receiver now. Run the ball, man. Run the ball. By the way, I got a couple numbers here for you, Chris, real quick. Number was 1. That's the number of interceptions Washington had on the season coming into this game. It was 1.
And today they got
1.
2.
And today they got 2. The other one, Chris, is this one. 214. Number of rushing yards for Washington in this game. 214. And their starting quarterback only played 1 series. 1. But yeah, man, I'm with you, man. It's just, it all sucks. Stinks.
It's just like, I text this to you during the game. The best, as far as play calling is concerned, the best drive was, their touchdown drive, the only score for the Panthers. 9 plays, 70 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they kind of remembered who they were on that particular drive. And it's interesting because it's like for Dave Canales, for as calm as he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
For as even as he is, everybody talks about that. He absolutely panics in his play calling. And you can tell once the team goes down. He may not show it on the outside. He may not be yelling. He may not, lose his composure or anything like that. But when it comes down to like how he calls these games, once the team goes down, he panics internally, and it comes out through that play calling. And that's the part where it's like, okay, like I'm not out on him. I'm not going to call for his job, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be steady on the fact that this guy needs at least 2 years, because we're not going to be in this, first off, it's a bad roster, and we're not going to be in this, cycle of firing coaches every year. That's not going to be good for anybody.
Nah, it can work.
But if there's just a little bit of criticism I have for him, it's this. And like, bro, if you're going to be about something, you got to be about it.
Yo,
if you're going to be about something, you got to be about it. Like, listen to Master P. If you want to learn how to be about it, because you got to be about that run.
Mm-hmm.
And you have panicked when the team gets down. We saw that last week against Atlanta. We saw it against the Bengals. They get down by 10. Okay, listen, I get it. When you're down, you have to start throwing a little bit more, but those aren't areas where you have to start just airing it out and just totally forget about the run. You can still mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have to start airing it out right away. That's what, again, it was 10-0 first quarter. And again, your offense was moving on that first drive. It was. And so it's not like you're completely were inept. It's like, all right, we got to just completely abandon the run because it wasn't working early on. No, that wasn't the case. Overall, Hubbard's stats aren't going to look great because, well, Ian Thomas can't block people. But that's another issue. Yeah, actually, it is an issue. Yeah, Ian Thomas, you're trying to pick up a first down. You got 2 plays to get 2 yards, and yet you miss a block on 2 straight plays, and guess what? You don't pick up a 4th down. Oh, Nick Scott, here, you're missing another tackle. Go figure. It's like these guys are supposed to be your starters. Like, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure Ian Thomas knows, like, as, like, tape of David Tepper doing something that should not go, public. I'm pretty sure he has that tape somewhere, and that's why he's still on this team. That's the only thing I can think of, because guess what? The thing you're known to do is blocking. You can't even do that.
It must be really bad because we have tape on David Tepper throwing drinks on people and knocking people's hats off. Must be horrible. But like, okay, here's the thing. And maybe it's too early to think about this. I'm not going to think about trades. Just next year, who should not be on the team?
I don't know if we have enough time in this podcast, Chris.
I will say, like, Ian Thomas is starting to make a case for it because,
he's made it.
Before, I didn't mind him. I never saw him as, after his first couple years, when they said that there was like he was starting to show flashes as a pass catching tight end or whatever, and we didn't see that the first couple of years. It's like, okay, he's a really good blocker. I like him for that reason. But like now, if you can't even do that one thing right, and you're not going to like run the routes correctly, and you're not going to catch balls when they're tossed to you, appreciate your 6-7 years, whatever it is, 6-7 years. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate your time.
But we got, and he's somebody with not necessarily a hefty contract, but he's got a contract where you could save that money and put it towards somebody else.
Yep. Could do a lot of different things with that contract. Do a lot of different things. Like, I don't know. Sign someone good. There's an option
Keep
for
Chuba
you.
Hubbard.
Keep Chuba Hubbard.
Hubbard.
You know, I know we're kind of venting and stuff here a little bit, and that's totally fine because looking at this game, and then also I look at defensively as well, is that, again, Jaden Daniels played one series, and Marcus Mariota comes in, and what did they just start doing? Running the ball. There was a point there early in the mid part of the second quarter where they had 2 total net yards passing. Washington did 2. They just kept running it at you. And I was like, hey, Evero, are you going to try something different? I mean, are you going to hey, let's blitz some people? I don't know. Let's have 7 guys standing on the line of scrimmage so Marcus Mariota isn't sure who's going to blitz or who's going to stay or who's going to drop. He does, is he going to do that? Did he do that? No, he didn't. Nothing changed. That's the thing that's frustrating, Chris, is that with all these losses, we're seeing the same thing again and again and again and again. It's like at some point, try freaking different things because what you're doing isn't working. What you're doing sucks. Try something different.
There was a little bit of differentiation with the fact that I felt like we saw more 4-man fronts for the defense for Evero. And in the last touchdown drive of the first half for the Commanders, you saw a couple of stunts. I counted 2.
Yeah.
I counted 2, but also it's one of those things where it also looked so foreign to those guys because they hadn't done it all season.
Yeah.
So it wasn't effective. And Dane Jackson coming back, I didn't notice a difference. No. With him being there, not that it should go on one person, but I didn't notice a big difference with anything. But it's yes, there's a lot of injuries on the defense, and I don't want to necessarily give the defense a pass, but when you look on that defense and you see Nkum and DJ Johnson and Marquise Haynes and Charles Harris, all guys who were not on the roster to begin the season. Besides DJ Johnson, to rush the quarterback, it's like, bro, come on, man. What can you do with that? What can you do? And then you got Chandler Wooten in there, and all that. So it's just it's like, there's a lot of wholesale changes that need to be made. Next year for sure.
Yes.
And here's another thing too that's kind of damning. A'Shawn Robinson didn't play, and
did not play today.
The run stopping looked exactly the same.
Nothing looked different,
bruh.
Jadeveon Clowney didn't play. Nothing looked different,
bruh.
Nothing looked different.
Speaking of what next year should look like, I see some places where you can save some money. I see some places where you can save some money, bro.
Yep. I really can. I see it with you as well.
If you need to get Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Johnson back, I see some places where you can save some money.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. Nothing looked different. Nothing looked different with those guys. I mean, Deontay Johnson had 1 catch today, just a couple targets. That's it. Jadeveon Sanders, 6 catches, 6 targets, 61 yards. All right, I like seeing the young rookie catching some balls. Stuff coming his way, but I mean, overall, it's just bad, pure bad.
I will say before I kind of mentioned, I think I mentioned Taylor Moton before as maybe a potential person. If we can get Taylor Moton back, he's a lot better than Yosh Nijman. I like him. I like the fact that Yosh is somebody who can come in and spell somebody for a few series or for a few games here or there, but he's not. He's not a legit option at right tackle because if you notice, a lot of the Washington getting through that line came from that right side over there, and he's the weakness of that line right now.
Yep.
So I apologize, Taylor Moton. Keep Taylor Moton.
Yeah.
If you could restructure something or whatever, save a little cash, whatever you got to do. Yeah. But Yosh is not the guy unless you just find somebody in the draft. But there's a lot to be done in the NFL draft coming up in April, which is a long time away, 6 months away.
Can we just simulate to the rest of the season? Just go and get it done. Like you kind of mad. Just hit the send button. Let's go ahead and get to the offseason.
I just like next week.
Yep.
Just give me a competitive game. That's all I hope for. Like this is where we've been before. Just give me something competitive. And the Broncos have been pretty hot. I haven't checked on what they've been doing today. Actually, they didn't play today. They played Thursday, right?
They played Thursday. They won. They're 4-3 in the year.
Okay, so they've been hot. Just give me something competitive. And I know Sean Payton, his petty self, is going to pull out all the stops. Because that's just who he is.
Yep, that's what he's going to do. And that's totally fine. I respect it. But, don't pull out any stops leaving comments on this game, by the way. In the comment section, please do that down below. And also make sure you hit that subscribe button. We love when people interact with us. Chris and I love seeing the comments and interacting with everyone down there. And subscribe for us. That definitely gives us a lot of love as well. If you can do that, hit that subscribe button. And again, leave the thoughts and comments down below. Panthers Playbook, sponsored by our friends over at Carolina Ford Dealers with the Ford F-150 on your team. It's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Chris, we'll have another episode on Thursday.
Should we?
Oh, no, we are. We should. We might have a new starting quarterback at that time, just to let you know. It might happen sooner than later. It might happen sooner than later.
It's a little too soon to me. If we gave Bryce 18 games to look bad, we could at least give Andy 8. Just give him 8. just give him 8. This was his first really bad game, honestly.
It was first true terrible game.
All the other games have been fine. You didn't like the interceptions last week, but you can explain one away. Yeah, and another was a real bad decision. But this was his first bad game. Let's chill off. Let's pause that just for a second. Pause. Just pause.
We'll see you guys on Thursday.